the terminologies as you Hindu fascists, you Indian fascists, scumbags and whatnot. This is not an ethical. Even I can't use the words with you here that publicly Indian, because just because they're Indian, just because they're Hindu, they were bullied and harassed. So if you can't show me the CCTV, I don't have right to even defend myself. On what basis are you? Individuals should have access to the evidence on the basis of which you are disqualifying him. Fascist, Hindu nationalist, like whatever suited their agenda. Election should be contested on my manifesto, on my policies that I endeavor to bring in, not on what my faith is, what my nationality is. Everything was going fine. A lot of support across nationalities, especially Asian students, African students, students from developing countries coming out, voting for me, supporting me, because I was the only brown, Asian, and student from developing country contesting for this position. I've written to the higher LSE authorities for a fair trial. If not, I'll approach the court of law.
Karan, let's go step by step. First of all, take me through the timeline of when your candidature was announced and when was it cancelled and what happened on the polling day.
Yeah, so it was 10th of March 2023 when I filed my candidature for General Secretary, which is the topmost position for the LSE Student Union. Then the voting time frame was from 22nd of March to 24th of March 2023. Everything was going fine. A lot of support across nationalities, especially Asian students, African students, students from developing countries coming out, voting for me, supporting me, because I was the only brown, Asian, and student from developing country contesting for this position. On 24th March 2023, certain Indian Hindu hatred messages were circulated against me on various social media platforms across the LSE student union societies and various department groups. I immediately
Can you
emailed.
give examples, specific examples?
I've just tweeted a few. So fascist, Hindu nationalist, like whatever suited their agenda. He's Islamophobic, he's transphobic, he's queerphobic, whatever they can attach to my defamation and character assassination, they did. And the moment it came to my knowledge, I emailed the returning officer, and I went directly, I stopped everything. I went to the student union office. I actually cried in front of them that please make me meet the returning officer and the authorities within the SU. This is such a big thing happening. Please come out with a public statement that this is undemocratic. This should not be allowed in an educational institute. Election should be contested on my manifesto, on my policies that I endeavor to bring in, not on what my faith is, what my nationality is. But till date, LSC SU has not come out. They have sent me an email that we don't relate ourselves to this. Yes, a wrong happened. Yes, you were bullied. Please reach out to the mental health service, reach out to this. But what about the correct?
So they are asking you to go to the mental health.
Yes, they are sending a link that, because yes, there is support available if you are suffering. Though I'm suffering, but what I require is restoration of the dignity, restoration of what my character has been assassinated. I even several complaints, formal complaints, as if I have coerced students, I forced students to vote. Reaching out to my voters, reaching out to my students is my right. But the moment people got to know what my faith is, what my nationality, what my all such things, all sort of complaints were filed against me. And my candidature was cancelled. I was disqualified to run for the
How were
election.
you communicating? How was the communication done? Like the
All through emails, I went to meet those individuals, but only once I could, after staying for a lot much time, after waiting, I could meet the returning officer. But nothing, even when the complaint was filed and ruling of my disqualification was made, I was not heard. Audi alterum partem, here the other side, which is the basis of any principle of natural justice and rule of law. Even individuals who we know that have committed crime, uh, as serious or as heinous as terrorism, have a right to fair trial. But a student was denied. The returning officer gave out the ruling of disqualification without even hearing my part of story, without providing me the evidences, without providing me that this is the complaint against you. Yes, I just got the ruling that these complaints have been filed and you have been uh, uh, disqualified. So
there is no evidence to back up the claims that they are making. So when they call you Hindu phobic or sorry, Islamophobic or queer phobic, have they backed up their claims with facts?
no, nothing. I rather I shared. I worked for transgender community back in India. I worked for other communities at LSE too. I shared those pictures. I shared that work. If you go to my Instagram, I worked in my undergraduate for transgender community, helping them to know their rights, telling them please get your documentation done. With all law students in my university, we went out to them, but they pick choose what suited their agenda. How can they malign my image? And human right is to be discussed, should be discussed. How we can improve, we should do that. But against things against my country's sovereignty, against the very integrity of my country, I think no Indian or would tolerate that. But
Okay,
yeah,
so those remarks were used as a ground for your for the cancellation of your candidature. Those
I
remarks
don't
were
know.
there.
It was one of that in that group, but there's lot
So
many
you
like.
tried to defend your country in one of these events where they had invited a terrorist.
No, I
And
didn't even defend. I just went as a LSE student.
Mhm.
I had a problem, but again, because it went through the process. They another academic, for they're providing. So I thought that let me hear what the other side story. We need to be open to other ideologies, other arguments, other side. So for that, but even there, Indians were disrespected. We
Okay,
had to leave the event in between.
okay.
In at LSE, an LSE student was told at collective, because I asked, in a humble and respectful manner, a question. We were questioned that collect your salary from Indian High Commission. This is what an Indian student get a reply when he asks a question in an academic discussion. But I was silent because I'm here for studies. I'm here. Uh, but yeah, but this has actually put me a mental state wherein I had to come up. My candidature was cancelled by the returning officer in a mechanical fashion, saying that in first ruling on Wednesday of the last week at 7:30, I received an email with three that we received a complaint. Have you having link with extremist organization, but they were not proved. Blah blah blah. And then second point, that these WhatsApp messages that I have filed have nothing to do with the candidate. Uh, so and third, they said I've coerced 7 students. Coercion is a very big term to use against a student. Coercion is as equal as twisting an arm, forcing an individual. So she in that first email on Wednesday evening, it was 7 students. Next very day, from 7, it became 2 students, and there are 5 as your other team members.
So you
Then
coerced students to vote in favor for you. Like, what is the
no,
coercion?
now in the final ruling of disqualification, they removed the word coerce. Now they've said that I was within the 2 meters when a student was voting. So 3 orders of disqualification and 3 different, first 7 students, then moved on to 2 students. Now, when I questioned that I am a law student, do you even know what's the definition of coercion?
Hmm. Hmm.
If I have coerced, try me as per UK law. It is such a heinous offense.
Hmm.
Now they have changed it to, they have removed coercion. They have now said that I was within the 2 meters ambit, and we have saw it in CCTV. I asked them, please show me that CCTV. They said we can't show it. It's against the privacy norms. So if you can't show me the CCTV, I don't have right to even defend myself. On what basis are you? Individual should have access to the evidence on the basis of which you are disqualifying him. So all of this happened, and I've formally reported. I've been struggling hard, emotionally, physically, to fight against this very ecosystem, but I've not been successful yet. I've written to the higher LSE authorities for a fair trial. If not, I'll approach the court of law for corrective measures and for the justice. Yeah.
And what kind of support have you received from the students community, because you were a student's representative?
Even students were harassed who came out and voting for me. They have filed a formal complaint. It's not just me. You will see other people also coming out, and they have formally filed a complaint with SU, because, excuse my language, but the terminologies as you Hindu fascists, you Indian fascists, scumbags and whatnot. This is not an ethical, even I can't use the words with you here, that publicly Indian, because just because they're Indian, just because they're Hindu, they were bullied and harassed in front of the polling booth just because they were voting for me.
For such fine news breaks and video features from ground on your mobile phones, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, The New Indian, by clicking on the bell icon. Also, follow us on the social media handles on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook and Co.